Hello, everybody. Sorry we're a few minutes late. We had some technical difficulties again behind the scenes, but we have it ready for you guys. So my name is Leah Den Hartog. You guys saw me in the welcoming message, but I'm going to be introducing our lovely two speakers from Canature Water Group. We have Mike Barone and David Taft both speaking today. I'm going to pass it off to you guys.
All right, so let's get started. So, hey, welcome everybody to the water treatment session. This is what's in the water, and welcome plumbing and HVAC people from Canada. Next slide. All right, so with me today, our technical trainer, Mike Barone, and myself, David Taft, here to help along the way. We both have almost 100 years of experience. How about that for a couple of guys that are only 35 years old?
Between the two of us.
All right, that's good.
Next slide.
Yeah, just keep clicking till that
Keep
full
clicking
test
on this one.
cycles. There's like,
Go ahead, Dave.
all right, so just want to, so one of the things that you see these two big guys here in the capsule, can't fit anybody else in there, but we're wearing shirts that we purchased and we believe in this. Mike's wearing a shirt that says be better than average, and I have a shirt on that says failure is not an option, and that's what we believe, and that's what we're here to do is to educate you so that you will be better than average, and failure will not become part of your day-to-day life. Go ahead. All right, Mike, take
All
her
right, so
away.
let's roll. So why water treatment? You know what? You go on a call, maybe it's municipal water, and you do your regular job, and never enters your mind that there's more to it or there should be more to it. So with that said, your purpose today is to introduce you to the contamination issues that exist in the water supplies today. Oh, are there contamination issues? Fasten your seatbelt. All right, so the process, we will introduce you to current contamination problems and let you understand how these problems can be overcome. All right. And the payoff, you're with them. Provide you with the foundation to become a water specialist regarding treating contamination issues and making sure that your customers have the highest quality water available.
Okay.
Click it, Lee. All right. So let's talk about some of the biggies. All right. PFAS. Have you ever heard of that? The forever chemical. Well, it's all over the news in the US, and we'll explain to you why possibly you've not heard about it in Canada. Lead, microplastics. Are you all dragging around those plastic bottles to chug a lug out of? Probably, right? Chlorine, chloramines, hardness, chromium. You remember the Aaron Brockovich movie? That was about the contamination of chromium. Next slide.
All right.
All right.
Polling question number one.
So go ahead.
If a lake is clear and blue, is it safe to drink? True or false? Yeah, just grab a straw and put it right down in there.
All right. So go ahead and click it.
So do you have the polls loaded, Leah? To see what the reaction is?
I do. Sorry, I was just trying to get back on stage. Yes, I do. So anybody who's so we're going to have a few polls today. I believe there's 6 total throughout this presentation. So on the right-hand side, you'll see there's a chat and then there's a poll option. If you click on the polls, I've just made live our first poll. So poll 1, if a lake is clear and blue, is it safe to drink? So you'll have the option to vote true or false for it. And then once we go through it, wonderful. Some of you guys are going through. You guys should be able to see the results as well. And then, yeah, so I think I can, why don't we, okay, we got a couple more votes coming in. I'll let you guys still vote for a few more seconds. And then, okay, one more last chance to place your votes, guys. All right.
Put your vote in right now.
All righty. I'm gonna end the vote poll now. So there we go. We got our results in. So we had 2 votes for true and we had 15 votes for false. So, gentlemen, tell me what's the
Click
result?
Well,
again.
if you
Click
click
again,
one more
Leah.
time,
Oh, it's me again.
It's you again, and hit it again.
one more. There you go.
There you go. So false it is. If the lake is clear and blue, just because you can't see it, taste it, or smell it, does not mean that there is no contamination. Don't be fooled, right? Okay. Next slide, Leah. All right, so let's take a look. You know, back in school, I'm sure you all studied the hydrological cycle, right? Y'all did. Maybe you slept through that portion. However, nonetheless, the hydrologic, we all know it, and water is the universal solvent. What that means is water can dissolve anything and everything it comes into contact with. So let's go ahead and follow the hydrological cycle. Water evaporates up, forms up into clouds. How much does a cumulus cloud weigh, by the way? 1.1 million pounds. Just a little tidbit there for you. So it comes up in the form of clouds. Eventually, it's going to condense and come down in the form of precipitation. Well, the atmosphere, you hear about it all the time. Oh, well, the air quality index is right. And it's like, don't go outside. The air quality is not so spiffy. All right. So once it rains, snows, whatever the case, it's going to go ahead and clean the atmosphere. Smog, acid rain, all this stuff that's up in the atmosphere will be cleaned. If you've ever gone out after a heavy thunderstorm and take a deep breath and say, my, the air smells fresh and clean, right? Has that ever happened to you? Well, you weren't fooled. Your senses did not fool you. Well, the rain's going to go ahead and hit the ground running. Whatever's there, fertilizers, animal waste, contamination, chemical spills, whatever it comes into contact with, it's going to dissolve. From there, it's going to go into the streams, rivers, lakes, and then eventually into the oceans. Also, it's going to percolate down through the ground strata. Now, that's where most of the minerals are located. So that's where the calcium carbonate, the manganese, the iron, and the Earth's surface is 5% iron. So there's a good probability that you will come up against iron. So with that said, well water generally is harder than municipal water or surface water. Some municipal water is drawn from wells, but most from surface water because of the volume. Next slide, Leo.
Well, that
Another
brings
polling
us to
question, Leah.
polling question number 2. You want to launch? You don't launch it. You just get the results. So, surface water is usually not as hard as well water. Is that true or false? Did I just hear that?
Oh, is there an echo here?
Go ahead and cast your ballots.
All right, we're gonna give you guys a few more minutes. Oh, seconds. You don't need full minutes to answer.
No, this is
an
a
easy poll.
quickie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a quick one. Go ahead and click it one more time.
This is what we call a gimme.
Yes.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's say our votes are in. Okay, so
Click it.
end. All right, so we got 3 votes for true and 5 votes for false.
Oh. Yeah, now flip the screen. We'll give them what the answer is. Well, look at that. Surface water usually is not as hard as well water is a true statement. All right, next.
All right, let's talk about environmental disease. Dave,
Go ahead, Dr. Doom. Let's tell them about
it. Yeah, Dr. Doom here. So, environmental diseases from chemical exposure due to environmental pollution, right? Pesticides, chemicals, asbestos, radiation, air and water pollution. Hey, just a few of the man-made hazards that are believed to contribute to human illnesses. Human beings made from the global commons of air, water, and land into the global dustbins of human waste. Yeah. Let me give you an analogy here, right? We sent a lot of our manufacturing away, right? Because we didn't want the pollution. We said, okay, we're going to send the McGillicuddies overseas, or they're going to do the manufacturing so that we don't have the pollution. Let's say you take your family out to the municipal pool, and the pool monitor comes up to you and says, well, Leah, would you and your family like the peeing or the no peeing section? Well, that's an absurd question, right? Because it's one pool. One pool. Well, guess what? The world is one pool. Think about that. All right. So some researchers also feel environmental factors may increase a person's risk of developing Parkinson's disease. I've been on many calls where people have these environmental diseases. They can't use deodorant with aluminum in it. They can't drink, they can't eat out of aluminum cans, etc. So all of this stuff is a contributing factor for a lot of these diseases. Next slide, Leah. All right. Contaminants with no current answers from Health Canada. How can that be? No way. They got answers. PFOS and PFAS. That's the forever chemical. It never goes away. And we'll explain a little bit about that. Microplastics. Did you know that there is islands in the Pacific the size of Texas? It has rivers, lakes, streams, animals. And you could go there on a camping trip. Take your family on vacation. What the heck? How unique would that be? All right. And lead. Lead's a problem all over Canada. Next slide. All right. Health Canada and EPA new limits for PFAS. Here's one of the reasons you're not seeing PFAS news flashes in Canada. In the U.S., the limits have been reduced to 4 parts per trillion. That's like so infinitesimally small. In Canada, it's 600 parts per trillion. So it doesn't get to that limit in most cases, so you don't see the news. Go ahead and hit it. Hopefully, Health Canada is going to reduce that. Combating PFAS. So where would you find this stuff? All right, PFAS is a carcinogen. Dave and I in New York a few years back did a spill from Teflon residual of 100 homes. It was a sad thing. People's pets were dying. The people had cancer. It was awful. I mean, not a high point of my career. However, we helped the people. We got it done and fixed the problem. So PFAS are widely used in industry and the production of everyday products like non-stick coatings for cookware. If you have that, throw it in the garbage. All right. Stain repellent coatings for clothes and carpeting. Detergents, cleaning products, and firefighting foams. I want to tell you a little quick story. I was on the plane coming back from the West Coast a couple of months ago, and I was talking to the fella next to me about microplastics and a couple of things. And I mentioned the forever chemical. The aisle in front of me turned around. And the guy says, who are you? I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, I'm a firefighter in Longwood, Florida. He says, and we are under study because firefighting clothing, garb, just like these fellas are wearing, the repellent is PFAS. Now, normally your skin is a great barrier. However, when they're in these suits, they're sweating, their pores open up, and the PFAS is getting in. So these firemen are coming down with different forms of cancer. They're being studied, and the whole fire department wants to get on my classes. They're like, you know, we don't know what to do. Nobody knows how to fix this. So, and it's also in different things: lipstick, eyeshadow.
Dental floss,
Dental floss.
Easy Glide dental floss. Think about it.
So I mean, it's like nutty. So PFOS and PFOA are the two most studied chemicals that are out there, and currently it's in over 230 million North American homes. Next slide, Leah. I'm trying to click it here. Yeah. All right. Here's some PFAS hotspots in Canada. If you think you don't have hotspots, think again, because you do. Next slide. So what are they? PFAS, perfluoroalkyl substances, a general term, used for over 4,000 synthetic chemicals that have been used since the 40s. They've known about this a long time. They've been used in thousands of consumer, industrial, and military products, clothing, makeup, food wrappers, nonstick cookware, carpets, car seats, firefighting foams. All those things. All right, so PFOA and PFOS. Next slide. All right, here's a good one. Do you go to Timmy's? How about Mickey D's? The King? You go to any of these places? I'm sure you stop sometimes. Guess what's on the inside of the wrappers so the food doesn't stick to it? PFAS. So these products, be aware. You know, this is part of this is awareness for you and awareness so that you can help your customers when the time comes. Next slide. So let's get into microplastics. This I've been seeing this in the news like a freight train. So humans can develop some health conditions because of plastic. Please don't use these plastic bottles. They are nothing but a cancer-causing medium. So, and I'll show you some things. You'll be aghast. Humans can also develop some health conditions because of plastic. Let me throw a couple out there. Dr. Doom. Asthma, pulmonary cancer, gas, liver damage, nerve and brain damage, and kidney disease over the last few decades. And if you've ever seen the garbage ships going out of New York City, for instance, to dump in the ocean, they're full of this stuff. And all they do is they go out there about a mile out and dump it. That's our garbage disposal. Over the last few decades, we've dumped tons of plastic garbage into the ocean, around 580,000 pieces of plastic junk per square kilometer in the ocean and the Atlantic. Next. All right. This is a report from CNN. This is the link. Take a screenshot. You want to look it up? You want to see what's going on with this? CNN did a big expose. You could be swallowing, according to this study, a credit card of plastic every week. And it's not just from the plastic bottles. All right, you use a plastic baggie. Oh, okay, let's throw that asparagus in there. Boom, right? On and on. This stuff's in the ocean. Guess what? It gets into the fish. It gets into our water supply, etc.
And recently, actually 2 days ago, I sent you an article, Mike, that said that they're finding it in the brain
Yeah,
of
they're finding
humans.
microplastics in the brain now.
It's alarming.
Yeah. So go ahead, next slide. All right, let's move to chromium. I mentioned Aaron Brockovich. All right. Not to have a scare tactic, just so you have to recognize that this is a problem. Here's your spills. All your population centers, guess what? It's there. Next slide. All right, lead poisoning, a whole nother thing, especially in children. It's a sad thing. A lot of our supply pipes are made of lead. So especially on the lead up to the home, and those obviously should be changed out. But there are some things you can do inside the home to help protect your customers. And you can do a lead test. I mean, they're very easy to do. Next slide. Here, we have a map of lead in Canada. Oh my gosh, it's there. All right, so take a look. Is it in your area? Probably. Next slide. All right, so let's take a look at some of the solutions for the solution. Reverse osmosis is a solution for PFAS, and not that I'm going ahead and pounding my product, but nonetheless, this is certified. You always want to use, especially when you're dealing with harmful substances, arsenic, barium, chromium, all of these substances that can cause immediate health concerns. You want to make sure you're using products that are NSF certified for 58. All right, there's other certifications, but they have nothing to do with taking the contaminants out. Don't be fooled. Next slide. All right, so making water safe, municipal water. oh my gosh, the municipalities, all right, and you call it hydro, is you call it hydro in Canada, the water supply? Is that they call it? Okay, so Hydro Canada, they wouldn't send you anything that would be harmful in the water, would they? No, no way. They're going to make sure it's spiffy as can be, right? All right, let's look at chlorine. Oh, they put that chlorine in there. Well, chlorine causes trihalomethanes, or THMs. That's when chlorine reacts with organic matter. That's the byproduct. And there's a lot of places in Canada that use chloramines. What is chloramine? Oh, this is a real good combo. Chlorine and ammonia. Give me a couple of shots of that, right? Well, that makes nitrosamines. They're DNA damaging, cancer causing disinfection byproducts that form when water is treated with disinfectants like chloramines. Next slide. All right, so let's take a look at one of the remedies. I'm done being Dr. Doom.
Let's fix it. Let's fix it now.
Yeah, Dr. Fix It here. All right, so carbon, granulated activated carbon, or GAC, is generally accepted as the best all-around adsorbent. All right, not ab. Absorbent is like SpongeBob. This is an adsorbent, sticks to the surface. It's available for removal of organic chemicals and organic contaminants. In addition, it's used for the removal of tannins, phenols, pesticides, detergents, trihalomethanes or THMs, and toxic organic compounds. So charcoal carbon filters are the most effective at removing chlorine particles such as sediment or VOCs, taste and odor. However, they are not effective at removing minerals, salts, and dissolved inorganics. Now, there was a spill in Palestine, Ohio. Remember, I don't know if you all saw it. There was a train wreck there, and there was fires. They started it on fire to burn off the VOCs. If those people that got sick from that train wreck had a carbon filter on their home, they would have had no effect whatsoever on their health. Next slide. So why remove chlorine and chloramines? I went on a job in Tampa, Florida. You see this pipe? I went on a job in Tampa, Florida for a huge condominium. I mean, it was like, I don't know how many stories, but big building. And I'm not a plumber. I make no bones about it, but this is like really big pipe there, thick stuff. Ate right through it in 3 years. 3 years. Think about it. All right, so they're irritants to the eye, skin, and respiratory system. It damages plumbing and rubberized parts in the plumbing system. So what you gonna do when this chloramines come for you? Next slide.
All right, here we go.
Leah, there you go. You're on board now.
I'm back.
All right, it's polling time. Granular activated carbon removes hardness. True or false? Let me think. Did he say that?
Oh, yes. Okay, let's put our votes in. We got one vote in. It should be live already, guys.
Come on, guys. Take a shot.
Oh, there we go. We got a couple more.
All right. Who said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? You all know that? The great one, right?
Right. All right. Do we want to keep? Okay. Let's give us another 10 seconds. Put our votes in.
All right. Come on.
Okay.
Ding.
All right. I think we got enough time. All right. So we're going to end the poll. So poll number 3, we had 4 votes for true and we had 3 votes for false. So a little bit torn. So let's see what the answer is.
We got some people abstaining, hey?
They're scared to answer correctly.
We don't know who's saying what. So the actual answer is false. Carbon has no ability to remove hardness.
None at all, ladies and lassies. All right, next slide. Filtering water with carbon. How does it work? Works great. Less filling. All right, granulated activated carbon removes chlorine, taste and odor, and organics. Now, catalytic carbon is regular granulated carbon on steroids. Chloramines, rotten egg gases like sulfur, and tannins with special versions of that carbon. It would be an organic trap carbon. Next slide, Leo. So what is activated carbon? Activated carbon for our purposes is a soft base material often made from coconut shells. It is also made by thermal activation of hard base coal. So carbon is made from a lot of different sources. This session is more of an intro. We're not going to go into all the different ones. However, these activation processes produce a honeycomb type structure whereby the base material surface is greatly increased, which provides the adsorption sites. That means sticks to the surface, doesn't go into it, for contaminant removal. Ad is Latin for on, and ab is Latin for into. All that Latin I took, it had to be good for something. Next slide. So how does adsorption work? Adsorption is a physical process in which suspended matter, liquids, or gas adhere to the surface or the pores of the carbon in the absence of a chemical reaction. Adsorption is not the same as absorption, in which one substance is taken into the body, okay, SpongeBob, of another substance. Absorption is into, it sticks to the carbon and will not come off. Absorption is into, not commonly used in water treatment. Next slide. All right, applications. Activated carbon has a super high affinity for chlorine. It takes out a ton. Proven reliability, excellent projected life expectancy. However, we recommend, all right, not just us, Water Quality Association, a minimum of 1 cubic foot. 1 cubic foot of carbon will be able to handle 3 gallons a minute. That's it for doing the job effectively. If you put one of these rinky-dink little cartridges on, it's not going to do the trick for you. So reduces 1 part per million of free chlorine from 1 million gallons of water. Who said that? $1 million. All right. In addition, carbon is used for the reduction of phenols, pesticides, detergents, trihalomethanes, THMs, and toxic organic compounds. Next.
Hey, here we go again. Polling question number 4.
All righty.
Activated carbon may be made from coconut shells. Let's go ahead and light up the polls.
Do you have to put a lime in it? I don't know.
All right.
We can't see who's saying what, so don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't think that we see. Oh, I don't want to be wrong. They might see that I don't know.
Leah
nothing.
said true.
You know what? I did just vote myself this time. I haven't voted in the past, but I did vote true.
All right. Good.
All right.
That's a correctamundo.
Oh, is it? Okay. I gotta submit it first. Okay. I'm gonna end the poll. All right, last chance. And we've ended it. Okay, so we had 7 voted true, 3 voted false. So let's see what it is. It is
true.
Yeah. All right. All right, next. Huh. Get the heck out of here. There's some coconuts. All right. Coconuts are a great renewable source. All right. You want to talk about renewability? Right here. You're looking at it. So coconut shell carbon is one of the most common carbons in use today. Unlike charcoal-based carbon, which is more expensive and more difficult to activate, coconut shells are easily converted to granular activated carbon. And here's the process. The shells are ground up. They're placed in a large kiln heated with steam to over 1100 degrees Fahrenheit. This both burns the shell, expands the porous openings of the material. The surface area for absorption of odors and gases are greatly expanded. Everybody get that, or you want me to slow down? All right. Coconut shell carbon is very effective, and it's a lot less expensive than like bituminous coal, which is a great source. However, it's a lot more expensive and more difficult to get to. Next.
Look at
Huh.
this. Polling number 5. Hey.
Again. Woo, this one has different answers now, except it's not just
Yeah.
true or false.
Yeah, 1 pound of carbon has enough surface area to cover 100 square kilometers, the Great Bear Lake, 10 football fields, or the province of Alberta.
Hmm.
10 Canadian,
Oh, man.
10 Canadian football fields,
Oh,
Mike.
what?
Did you know the Great Bear Lake is the largest lake completely in Canada?
No, I did not.
All right,
Listen, I lived in Canada for 5 years. I know all this stuff.
let's.
All right, I'm gonna end the poll, guys. Last chance. Forever hold your peace. Oh, someone else voted. Good, you made it in. All right, it's ended. So we had 5 votes on 100 square kilometers. We had 0 votes for Great Bear Lake. We had 1 vote for 10 football fields, and then we had 5 votes for the province on Ontario. So let us see what is correct. Boom.
Oh, it's 10 Canadian football fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great surface area. All right. Next.
Next. There we go.
There it is. There's a picture of it.
10. Counted 10 football fields. All right, next. All right, contact time is of utmost importance. Organic and toxic organics require even more contact time than chlorine or chloramines. Here's some examples. Free chlorine, 1 to 2 minutes. That's what I'm saying. You need a cubic foot to be able to do the job. Chloramines, 3 to 4 minutes. Organics, 5 to 6 minutes. And toxic organics, 8 to 10 minutes. So if you have toxic organics and you're using carbon to remove it, then you're probably going to have to go larger than 1 cubic foot, right? Just as an example. Next slide. All right, let's talk about catalytic carbon. Catalytic carbon is regular carbon on steroids. So catalytic carbon is created by altering the surface structure of activated carbon. It does a better job, and it lasts longer, and you can bring it back around. By backwashing it, it refurbs it, and it's ready to go again. So it is modified by the gas processing to change the electronic structure. It creates a higher level of catalytic activity on carbon for reducing chloramines and sulfur in the water. This added catalytic functionality is much greater than that found in traditional activated carbons. I'm trying to click it to the next slide.
So we just got a, well, hold on, Mike. We just got a question came in. It says, the city I've been doing has been doing their spring runoff water cleanup, which I believe are chloramines. The GAC would be the best filter of choice. No, that's not correct. You would want to use catalytic carbon.
Catalytic. Regular. I'll tell you, when I first moved to Florida, they had chloramines, and I put a regular GAC filter on my house.
We'll run right through it.
Right through it. Didn't touch it. You have to use catalytic carbon. It's the only thing that'll take it out.
Okay. Next.
All right. Now, if you're putting on a water softener.
Yeah, go ahead and play that video.
Yeah, play it. You see here, this video was sent to us. Somebody put this on in Canada, and they said, what the heck is going on? What happened is the chloramines turned this to jelly, right? It broke it apart. So ion exchange resin, the name for it is divinylbenzene crosslink. So if you looked at it, it would be like a ball of string. And what holds that string together is the crosslinks. Well, what happens is that it oxidizes the crosslinks, breaks it apart, and this is what happens. It turns to jelly. Pretty soon you have no flow, and this does nothing except block the water. So you have to put, when there's chloramines or chlorine, you have to put carbon in front of it to protect it. And you're protecting the people for other stuff. We talked about it, VOCs, etc., right?
Okay.
Next slide. You have to click it again. Yeah, there we go. So types of carbon filtration available for GAC and catalytic carbon. You can see you've got inline filters. You got a double inline with gauges. You have a non-backwashing or an NRV. It's just a standalone upflow. Then you have a backwashing carbon, and then you have our combo unit, which is a carbon and a water softener. There again, I'm not necessarily pushing equipment. I'm just showing you that there's a lot of different types of ways to remove these problems. A lot of different scenarios for you. Next.
Well,
Huh.
number 6.
Get the heck out.
All right. So hey, what's the best way to find out what's in the water? You taste it, you smell it, you test it, or you let the dog drink it. Or Mikey.
We have a few comedians in here because the last one did get a few votes.
Yeah, give it to the dog. Who let the dog out, right?
All right. Couple more seconds. I'm going to close it, guys. Get your votes in. All righty. Amend the vote. So we had nobody who tasted it, so that might be good. But we had one that said smell it. We had 10 that said test it, and then we had 2 comedians that voted let the dog drink it.
If the dog doesn't fall over, it's good.
I'm with the 10 people.
All
And
right,
the
let's see
answer is
obviously. Yeah, go ahead, click it down.
There.
yeah, test it.
Test it. It's the only way. There can only be one. All right. What is considered hard water? So let's take a look at this scale. This WQA, CWQA, that this is their scale. So less than 1 is considered soft. 1 to 3.5, and this is grains per gallon. That's what hardness is measured in. Or you can convert it to parts per million or milligrams per liter. Take your pick. The conversion is 17.1 that you see here. If it's over 3, I'll cut to the chase here. You should be treating it. If it's over 3, it's considered hard water. And obviously it goes up from there. So let me ask you all a question. Put it in the chat. The conversion is 1 grain per gallon is equal to 17.1 milligrams per liter. If the water were 10 grains hard, how much would that be in milligrams per liter? Put it in the chat.
Don't be afraid. We won't call your name out.
Dave won't run the bus over you 7 times.
Just move that decimal point 1 place to the right and you got it. I'm not seeing anything. How about 171? I'll help you.
All right, 171. That's it. 10 times 17.1, 171. All right, next slide. All right,
there you go.
Click on the center one. There we go. Hey, we got Justin Trudeau here in the shower getting pelted by rocks. OMG, can you believe that? Hit it again. All right, so with that said, the impact on your home, 4 people at 10 grains per gallon of hardness is equal to 600 pounds of rock a year going through the system. That's not like chicken feed, all right? That's like not nothing. That's a lot of stuff. Take a look at this water heater on the left. How many years was that in, Dave?
Yeah, I found that it was in service for only 4 years, and it was being protected by the tachylated assisted crystallization, the TAC media. Looks like it did a great job, huh?
Oh, it's not waking. All right, next slide. All right, third-party certification. I can't emphasize this enough that you should make sure products you're using are certified. So, and don't let them use the leaching certification because that doesn't tell you anything. In other words, the vessel itself isn't leaching contamination into the water. I mean, that's important, but you're putting equipment on to accomplish a goal. Make sure that it's been certified for that. So Battelle study by the WQA had that done. Proves that placing a salt regenerating water softener ahead of a water using appliance makes those appliances more efficient. Calcium hardness makes appliances inefficient and fail sooner. So know your certification. NSF ANSI 61 requires only conformance to the material safety. NSF ANSI 44, all right, requires conformance to material safety, structural integrity, pressure drop, softener capacity, softening performance, brine accuracy, and product literature requirements. NSF, IAPMO, CWQA, all of these things are valid certification. If they had the certification done in Hungary, don't count on it. All right. Make sure it's a North American certification and that it's ANSI 44. NSF ANSI 44. That's the one you want to look for. Go. All right. If only water treatment was easy, your customers could do it themselves, right? Yeah. I'll do it. I do all kinds of stuff. All right. Everyone's in search of the new magic bullet product. Set it and forget it. Perpetual motion. It'll run forever. Yeah. Be cautious of non-certified water treatment solutions. If it was really easy, then we wouldn't need professionals like you, right? No. Yeah, you could just sit home and play a game. So we will do a side-by-side comparison of available technology as we only offer science-based technology product solutions, as it should be.
I just want to, so yeah, I can't agree more with you here. Watch out for the snake oil salesman who, as well, try to sell conditioning systems as softeners. You're spot on. And somebody says you see a bicycle in your office there, Mike.
Yeah, I belong to 2 bike clubs
It's
actually.
Mike the bike.
I do about 40 miles a day. Yeah.
All right, next.
All right, types of water softeners. There's the standalone. There's the one contained in the tank there on the left. And then you have the dual tank with a carbon filter that it goes through first, and then the water softener. Our preference, because of the municipal, and this is only for municipal water on the right. It's not for well water. That's made for chlorine and chloramine removal and then taking care of the hardness. So, but it's really not designed for wells. Next. So types of water. Oh, is there more than one type? I thought
No, I
water is
thought
one.
just the one you drank was the one you got, right? That's
Yeah.
it.
We classify water into 2 categories based on use and desired quality level. Working water, the water you bathe with, wash the car, and wash the dog, right? There's that dog again. And drinking water, the water you take internally. Of the 2, what do you think's the most important? Huh?
Well,
Next
that's
slide.
easy.
So build a total home protection system. What are the benefits? Treat the working water and the drinking water, right? So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, we treat both types. Even though you say the drinking water is the most important to you and your family, we're going to take care of both. That's pretty reassuring, isn't it? So assume your expertise, give professional advice and explanation clearly to maximize the best water result. Your opinion, you're the professional, all right? Your opinion matters way more than you think. They're looking to you to make sure that they're safe and going to be living a healthy life, all right? It's more than just sweat and pipe, right? Your job entails a lot more than that. And you all know it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Next slide. Oh, look at those squirmy things there. Ew. All right. So build a total home protection system. Have you ever heard of Cobra chickens? Anybody? Cobra chickens? No? Canadian geese. Canadian geese. Cobra chickens. Yeah. Canadian geese. You see these disgusting cysts here in the middle with these wormy kind of things? That's what they put in the surface water. They do their duty. That comes out of them. And chlorine and chloramines do not kill them because they're in like an egg. So what are you going to do? Well, what we recommend is the HTO first then a UV light to kill all of these Cryptosporidium, Giardia, Legionella, which chlorine and chloramines have a difficult time controlling. If your customer has immune deficiency, this stuff will take them out. So I've done treatment for a lot of people with immune deficiency, and you have to be very careful to protect their lives. So, and then reverse osmosis or an ultrafilter. Those are two good bets. Next. All right, here's your Canadian standards chart. All right, this is your pH, total alkalinity, total hardness, etc., all there. So next, water analysis. For correct sizing and application of water conditioning equipment. It's not just like put it on there, right? A water analysis is required. A basic water analysis includes tests for the following: hardness, iron, pH, TDS, manganese, and tannins. pH, Dave, what does that stand for?
Well, it stands for the potential of hydrogen.
Potential of hydrogen. All right. Next slide.
Well, it's time for
Wow.
questions. Hey, we're going to open it up for questions right now. I know that was a lot of information to digest, and you know, I'm going to give us a little bit of a plug, but understand our company has training that we do. The basic training, 10 week sessions, 1 hour a week. We're actually going to start another one in September 10th. If you complete that training program successfully, we'll actually give you a water softener for your house. And if you also, once you complete that,
Wait, Dave. There's no free lunch.
oh, but there
There's
is a
no
free
free
lunch
lunch.
here. Yeah, so we believe that if you actually complete the program and you have it in your house and you understand it and you actually use it, then you're going to be more apt to promote it in the field. And then from that, Mike and I have created two other programs that are 10-week sessions that will be by invitation. And one is advanced, and then the next one is professional. So advanced gets into the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts of how to take care of problem water, how to troubleshoot equipment, et cetera, et cetera. And then professional gets into opportunities in the commercial market. So we've had some really good reviews. Hope this is okay putting a plug in, but I mean, I think that if anybody's serious about water treatment, that they need to be educated, because all we're doing today is wetting the whistle, right?
Mhm.
Kind of getting me an idea.
Giving you little basics of what's going on. And our sessions that we're doing right now, we're in week 2, sold out. We had to shut
Yeah,
them down.
every
So I
time.
mean, yeah, it's and we're thrilled about that because that's all Dave and I do. We just do training. We don't do
So
anything
if
else.
any questions, please type them in the chat area and we'll do our best.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what it is. We're ready. Go ahead, try us out. You think you can stump us? Come on.
All right, you guys heard him. Try to stump him.
Coming from the 100-year-old guy.
Okay, here's we go.
All right, here we go. Can you elaborate on the process of backwashing?
Sure. You want to do that one, Dave? Or you want me to do it?
Sure. Yeah, it's not a problem. So, once the system's been in service, it eventually needs to be regenerated. And part of the regeneration process, we actually take water, reverse it through the unit, and we backwash all the contamination out of it and down to drain. Does that help you? I still have that free softener I need to install from the very first seminar. Well, I thought your name looked somewhat familiar. So, well, that's good. So you should go to the next one where we show you how to install them. They're actually quite easy. I just put an HTO and RO in my daughter's house. So if I can do it, you can.
Is there others too?
Well, I mean, I'm watching them as they come up. So they're on the right side.
Oh, I love
Any,
seeing a bicycle in someone's office. Okay. Yeah, the name of my club is are you ready for this? The SOBs. Seniors on bikes.
go figure. So, hey, Mike, you could take this one. Can water treatment help with conditions like eczema? Absolutely can.
Actually, yes. It's a little known fact that eczema, when putting soft water on it, will help relieve it. It doesn't cure it. But have you heard of people going like to the Dead Sea in Israel because they have skin conditions and floating around there, and the salt? Well, soft water helps immensely. Hard water irritates the skin, takes off the natural oils, and causes eczema and those kind of skin diseases to be worse. I have put it on quite a few people's homes with those skin maladies, and it has helped them quite a bit. I've gotten thank you letters and thank you cards and folks. So yes, it will help.
You
And
can
I'm not
cut
a
out.
doctor. I'm Dr. Doom, remember. But however, come on, there must be other questions. We covered a ton of stuff.
Leah, we're doing okay for time, right?
Yeah, we're doing good for time. We have another
Okay.
7 minutes. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Is there a way we can guarantee a UV filter is working other than a culture test?
In other words, an
So,
E. coli test. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you can put an intensity monitor on it, which I recommend. Dave and I both recommend intensity monitors. That's a little gauge that shows you
the nanometers.
the nanometers that are coming in. So in some of our classes, we teach electromagnetic radiation, which UV light utilizes at 254 nanometers. So that's what it should be at. If it's running at 254 nanometers, you're golden.
And the other thing is you always, lamp lives on UVs are created to have the intensity that Mike's talking about for 365 days. They need to be replaced annually. Don't go by, well, the light's still blue. Well, yeah, but it's not working because it's not intense enough to do what it's supposed to do. So, got a plumbing background, just need some time to put it in. Well, you
Come
know what you
on,
got to
get
do?
her done, Darren. Get her
Yeah,
done.
you're probably, Darren, you got the kids and everything, but you're probably sleeping too much. Ha! Oh, here we go. I've never heard of immune compromised people needing special water treatment. Please expand on that. Yeah,
All
go
right,
ahead,
so
Mike.
so Cryptosporidium and Giardia, they are in a cyst. Chlorine and chloramines do not penetrate that cyst. It actually would take 30,000 parts per million for 48 hours to be able to penetrate it. There's no
Not gonna
way you
happen.
could do. Yeah, you can't do that. So, with that said, these things you drink them into your body, they don't hatch till they get into a nice warm environment like your intestines, right? So then they're distributed into your body. They'll lodge into your muscle tissue. Somebody with immune deficiency, regular person, or it ends up being like a 48-hour bug. So your family comes down with the green apple two-step and maybe a little vomitosis, right? And you don't call the neighbor up and say, "Oh, yo, Madge, you got diarrhea? My whole family's got diarrhea here. I don't know if everybody's got it," right? You don't do that. That's not socially acceptable. So, for people with immune deficiency, they can't fight it off. They're tough. Somebody like us that's regular immune system, eventually you get rid of it. But people are hospitalized with this stuff, and it's a bear. So it lodges right into your muscle tissues, into your structure, and spreads. And then eventually, you may not get rid of it, or it can kill you if you have immune deficiency. So, like I said, I've done a whole bunch of people with immune deficiency, and I've done people with Parkinson's, with all kinds of diseases. I've helped them out with these things. So, but yes, does that help you? I mean, it's a fact. So, I mean, look, you Google it. I mean, you'll see.
Any other questions?
Come on. We cut all that stuff.
We have 3
and you don't
more
have
minutes.
Any questions?
Yeah, we have
3 minutes.
So
come
we
on,
have
come up
time
with
for
something.
one really good one.
Really? All right, great, Darren. Super.
Come on, who's gonna stump the
Come
great?
on, you guys can't stump me. I challenge you. I don't care what the topic is. I'll answer it.
Oh, we got
Okay, here we
two
go.
All
now.
right, here we go. When someone's looking to rebed a filter system, there are so many different types of media. I'd like to educate myself more on it. What's the best one to use? You know what? That's a wide open question. You
Yeah.
should join our training because guess what? There is no one size fits all. There's many different types of medias out there.
And what did you
And
test for?
yeah,
What's in the
and
water?
what are you trying to remove? I mean, that's the big question, right? We can help you with all that.
Oh, we got another one.
Do you recommend shocking a well annually? And if so, what's the procedure? Yeah, I don't recommend doing that. I recommend putting treatment on to make sure your water's good all the time. Mike, I don't know if you want to get into it. I mean, we had a
Yeah, let me just touch on it. I don't disagree with Dave. However, there are times where iron reducing bacteria or sulfate reducing bacteria is so severe. They are tough stuff. Right now they're eating the superstructure of the Titanic, and supposedly in 40 years they will have completely eaten it. But sometimes it plugs up the submersible pumps. If that's happening,
different
then
situation. Yeah.
yeah, that's a different story. Then yeah, go ahead. But
If I'm thinking bacteria, no, I
yeah,
want that's
no,
a
no, no.
Band-Aid. We
Yeah, no,
actually had
we
an
have a problem with
employee
that.
that lost his job with our company many years ago with a different company for
Um,
recommending that.
yeah, that
W
was for E. coli. I don't recommend it for E. coli. You got to treat it. But iron bacteria or sulfate reducing bacteria, if it's plugging up the submersibles, then yes, I would.
What water filters specifically do you have in your house? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have an HTO in my house and an RO, and I actually my daughter just bought a house and it's got a 6-month-old baby at home, and I have the same equipment in her house because she's on chlorine and chloramines. I don't want her or the baby to have that, and want to make sure that they have the best drinking water that's possible. And they drink. Everybody drinks out of those stainless steel containers. I think Leah, you got one in your hand, right? Yep. That's that's what everybody uses today, right?
So I live in a condo. I don't have a spot for an HTO, otherwise I'd have it on. I have an ultra filter on. Now, an ultra filter will filter down below 1 micron. It's not quite. It leaves the minerals in the ultra filter, but it takes out most stuff, all the way down to the salt. That's where it stops. But awesome filter. I've
So what are the
yeah.
latest newer models coming out later this year?
All right, I'm going to call this one the last question, guys.
You know what? We're not in R&D, so I don't know that we specifically have our hands on that. We're just trainers.
Yeah, they gave it to us after
Sorry.
the fact. Can't
All
answer
right.
that one.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I think we are all done for the day. So I'm going to do our nice closing wrap up session here rather than moving over. So David and Mike, you're going to have to bear with me for about less than a minute.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. I hope you take something away from today's sessions and that you've learned something. I definitely have. Yeah, so I also want to reiterate our little photo challenge we're organizing. If anybody wants to send a photo of them doing some type of installation, Darren, if you're going to install one of the equipment we're talking about today, you can take a picture of that and we can use that potentially. For if we end up using one of your pictures on as our cover photo, we will send you a free plumbing and HVAC sweater. So yeah, so thanks everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed again today, and hopefully you guys come out to our next session. So wonderful.
Hey, we had a ball. I hope you all enjoyed it and learned something. Thank you
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
much.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. You too.